Pastor Susan, please come to the front. For the invitation, please.
Let us pray. Gracious God, be with each person gathered here tonight and steady our minds and hearts. Place your hands on each of us and help us where we need help. Heal us so we can be prepared and ready to do the communal work that needs to be done for this community. Guide our leaders, our city council, as well as other civic leaders that each person might look to helping those in their care. Let us set aside allegiances that are not for the common good, but for personal good. Strengthen us that we might face adversity with courage and wisdom, and your good will be done. Bless everyone here this evening and all those about whom we care, and bless the city of Kennett and all of her citizens. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Tell us, please, in prayer.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, in your packet, you have the minutes from the regular meeting on August 1st, 2023. Is there a motion to accept those as written? We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Any changes or corrections? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. At this time, as committee and department reports, do we have any committee reports from the committees that need to be brought to the council?
I got one.
Please.
On the finance side, we're just keeping an eye on the trend on the income side, and we're monitoring the expenses. We will have a finance meeting the first week of September. We'll get with Brenda and set that date. It might be after the next council meeting, but it'll be the first week of September.
Good.
And that's all I have.
We'll also, at that meeting, we need to discuss the marijuana tax, potential marijuana tax, what kind of money that potentially could bring in.
Brenda's supposed to be doing some checking on that.
And then also, I'd like
we
to
have that information. We'll
if you don't care, we can also discuss the capital improvement tax, how we're going to use some of the portion of that money for industrial development.
that'll be part of the finance meeting.
Keith, part of that campaign issue was to put the signs out. Is there a way that your guys could, as you drive through town, pick up those signs and save them for us for future?
Yes,
Because you're out and going, so.
yes.
All right, thank you.
You talking about the voting signs?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
no
thank you.
problem.
Is that all for the finance committee?
That is all.
Thank you. Please,
Police committee met last night, and several things were discussed. One thing we discussed is we get a lot of complaints on speeding on city streets, running traffic lights, stop signs, underage driving, operating motorized vehicles on the city. The police department is going to start looking at a little closer. So hopefully we can curtail some of these complaints.
What about the big trucks?
Pardon me?
The big trucks?
They're going to start running radar on the First Street in St. Francis. Maybe we can cut some of that down.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's all I have now.
Have a hierarchy?
We,
Close meeting.
I didn't know if you want to do that on new business or we can do that now.
We can do that
We
now.
also, we have 3 openings for the police committee. We have a new hire, Josh Steffler. He has been a police officer before. We're going to hire him at the rate of $18 per hour and increase to $18.50 after 6 months. And the committee has agreed on that
In the form of a motion?
in form of motion.
Do we have a second? We have a second. And we'll go have a vote on it. So we've had a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
That's all for me at this time.
All right. Yes, sir. Well, thank you for your work. Any other committee reports?
We just had an impromptu committee meeting for the street department. And we're looking at going ahead and starting some additional work on the road. Some of the areas that we promised to get done, we're going to try to get them done before the fall comes in, and to do paving and build up streets, things like that. So we're gonna get busy.
Okay. All right, I will ask that the Storm and Street Committee have a scheduled meeting. One of the items that's part of the curb appeal for our community is Buffalo Ditch, which the citizens may not know this. It's the drainage ditch, a large drainage ditch that runs Cena State Bank by Indian Park, comes out to Casey's on Independence. So it's a large drainage ditch, but it's also overgrown and very unsightly for our community. So I'm going to ask you all, we'll look into some options that we can do to hopefully eliminate the unsightliness, but also help with the drainage.
Yes,
Right.
and the mosquito infestation.
Yes,
and-
yes. Trash, and it's just, it needs to be
Yes,
addressed.
and that's been something that I wanted to deal with since we had the stormwater tax, and so we have definitely some ideas to deal with it.
And I think we have a drainage district, so hopefully we'll
Yeah,
we can
that
meet with
is,
them.
they have a meeting on Thursday at 10, and I'm gonna try to be there, and if I can't, I'm gonna see about getting there.
Okay, and then, also, if you don't care, and this may be a MoDOT issue, but at least you can come back and explain that to us. The drainage ditches along Independence, they're hard to mow, but they're also an issue, an eyesore for our community also. Maybe it's something that you can bring back to the council
Okay,
with any solution.
sounds good.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I think we have something on the TAP grant.
Do you want to do the TAP presentation at
Just
this
for 1
time?
second, that's gonna be an unfinished business.
Okay, I didn't see it on
We'll
there,
bring that up
so.
there. It just got added to the agenda
Okay,
5 minutes.
sorry.
It's still got fresh ink. Transportation tax, I just want the citizens to know that the street committee will be looking into that, making a priority list of streets that will be overlaid or paved, and also taking the gravel and turning it into paved streets. And we'll systematically work through those.
Yes, try to finish up what we started on 10 years ago.
And we put a hold on it just because of the uncertainty of our financial situation. The tax, thank goodness for the citizens that saw the need, and so we're gonna start looking at that. Financial meeting, so that's all that I have for committees. Do we have anything for the department reports, besides what you turned in on the papers?
Mayor, City Council, just a few quick things tonight. First thing, we have received an award from Lexapol. It's a silver award presented to the Kennett Fire Department for excellence in training. This comes from Lexapol for 2,000 plus hours from our fire department with a 95% completion rate through Lexapol. That was a pretty big thing.
Good job.
Thank you. I've had several inquiries over the past week or so about the new to us truck that we've ordered. That will hopefully be here sometime this week or possibly next week.
This is the truck that was purchased last
In the last budget.
January, or something was purchased.
Yeah. But it should be here either this week or next week, in our possession. The only other thing I've got, Tyler and myself will be going Monday the 21st through the 25th to Columbia for a emergency management conference. We haven't had one of those in about 3 or 4 years due to COVID. Finally opening that back up, so we'll be going that week for emergency management conference. Well, as the mayor said, y'all should have all my reports in your packet. If y'all have any questions for me, if not, or if you do afterwards, just call me or come by the office. You're more than welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chief, or Kenny, do you want?
I just have one quick thing, other than what's in the packet. On October the 9th, we'll be having a softball tournament. This is our fundraiser for our Shop of the Cop program. As of today, we had 13 teams that have shown interest to be in this tournament. So we may end up having to make it a 2-day tournament, which that's what we have to do. I mean, it'll be a good thing. We encourage the council, citizens to come out and support this. It's by far one of our biggest fundraisers we do for the Shop of the Cop program. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We don't have anything unless anybody has a question about it.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I don't mean to step on anybody's 10 toes, but I'd like to know with our form right here, I'd like to know from the department heads how much time they're having to spend on that form so we can see if we should modify it or what it exactly that we need to do. Should we continue in the present state? I'd like to just hear what the department heads have to say on it, how they're holding up on it. You guys know what I'm talking about?
You know, the form for y'all with the hours and all that stuff? You know, on my side, yes, it's added time that it takes. But, I mean, if that's something y'all want, I'll gladly continue doing it. But I don't know, Bill. I mean, because in my office, that information is gathered from other places other than me. So I have to go to Victor, and I have to go to Leslie, and I have to go to Dennis, and I have to hit everybody to find out what they've done.
I just want to make sure it's time, but it's well spent to do that. Keith?
I started doing it all the day before the meeting, and it's really frustrating trying to get all the information together like that. So now I just daily start keeping up with it. It takes a little bit of time because us too, we keep up with the information, but we keep up with it monthly. So now I've got to go every 2 weeks and get it as opposed to monthly. That's just a little more time than, but like Lance said, if something y'all want, I'll keep doing it. Just understand it's taking a little more time.
Chief, how about you? Thank you.
It is time consuming, but again, there's something the council wants, the numbers you want to see, I mean, it's fine, but it does take some time out of our day. I'm kind of like Lance. I don't have all the information sitting in front of me. I have to go get with dispatch, and also have to get with Assistant Chief Stewart to get some of the numbers, so it takes a little bit of time to get these people together and have them do their side of it.
The advantage to this is the council can see what's being done. They can see what the police officers are doing, they can see what the fire department's doing, they can see what the street department's doing. Without that piece of paper, we have no idea.
Oh, your committee should.
Other than the committee, that's right.
Yeah, that's what the key to it is right there.
But to also, as an elected official, it doesn't matter if you're on a committee or not, we're to hold the departments accountable for the citizens.
Yes.
And if you don't know what's going on, even though you might not be on the committee, everyone's got access to all the information. Well, the PD's pulled over X amount, or the fire's responded to X amount. That gives you a little know-how and a little knowledge to.
I just want to know time-wise, would it help us, would everybody still get the information if we did the first meeting of the month, say? Would that, from the previous month?
What brought us on was the council request.
Right.
Because rather than come up for every meeting and speaking for an amount of time about everything that's on this piece of paper, it's
Right.
just information that the council would receive. That comes from the council
I
request.
just want to know if we wanted to modify it, or if we're content with it right now, I'd be fine with that as well. Just want to make sure we're using our time wisely.
I wonder if the department heads, instead of going to each of those people, does it work if your team knows that on X day you need for them to turn in that information so that, you know, they just know to bring it to you instead of you having to chase it down? Maybe I'm living in a fantasy world,
No,
but.
that's what I do. I've told my guys, they know, they already know the next day that I'm gonna need this.
We fill out a sheet every day. They're supposed to put down what they do, how many hours they spent doing each job, what equipment they use, but it doesn't always get filled out the way it's supposed to. And I've got Erica deciphers them the best she can to try to come up with how many hours, because you can't go by the timesheet hours, because if you had somebody sick that had sick time, then they got paid for those hours. But if they weren't physically there, then they didn't work the hours, so you've got to go through and decipher all that. I mean, some of the stuff we do keep up with monthly, but not bi-monthly. So now we're gonna have to go collect it bi-monthly where we're already doing it monthly. And I usually was giving it in the report, but like I said, it doesn't matter to me. If y'all want it, I'll keep doing it. It just takes a little more time.
Everybody seems to be happy with it.
Yeah. So we'll leave it the way it is.
Good. So,
Any more department reports?
For the chamber, I didn't get in there on this.
Come on up.
I just got a couple things. Council, Mr. Mayor, Danny Ray with the Executive Director of the Kennett Chamber. Kind of give you an update on tourism report. Been a busy summer. We updated the visitkennett.com. That was part of a tourism grant. So had that going on. So we got that updated. One of the things are the chamber and the city's contract for renewal. I've got the contract here tonight, and I've got a couple things as far as, you know, the request for it. In 2004, the Kennett Chamber of Commerce requested that the Kennett City Council place a lodging tax on the local ballot in order to fund local tourism marketing efforts. The city council agreed to the request, but stipulated that the chamber would be solely responsible for promoting the ballot issue and seeking the support by voters and local hotels. The chamber spent nearly 3 months promoting the tax. The issue received overwhelming approval. Beginning in the fiscal year 2005, the budget, the city has used a portion of the tax of the contract with the chamber for tourism marketing. The chamber overseeing the disbursement of other tourism tax dollars to promote area events. As part of its management of the tourism marketing account, the chamber reviews applications from non-profits to make informed recommendations to the council on event funding. The city ordinance and corresponding state statute requires that the tourism tax funding be solely used for tourism marketing. The chamber's management of this tax ensures that these earmarked dollars are spent properly without placing additional burden of oversight on the city. As chambers do across the country, the Kennett Chamber of Commerce also acts as a welcome center for the city of Kennett, providing visitors with necessary information to assist with them during their stay. The chamber also maintains membership in various associations across the state. The Kennett Chamber also serves as a designated marketing organization for Dunklin County, allowing it to leverage local resources with matching funds from the Missouri Division of Tourism. This relationship has proven to be vitally important and uncertain, as what we've got going on now. In addition, the chamber maintains the city's tourism website, the www.visitkennett.com, which includes the resources for restaurants, retailers, attractions, and among other things. On behalf of the city, the chamber also distributes assorted materials such as visitor guides, community directories, and a host of phone calls. So tonight I'm asking the city council to extend our partnership with the chamber and renew the tourism contract in the amount of $25,000.
What the previous amount?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That was
That's his wife's, bring that up.
Well, it's a vitally important aspect, and we have the tax for it. We've asked every other department and organization to take a cut of some type in this year's budget with money being tight. Just to be fair, and I'm trying to pick on the chamber, or anything else, but we want to continue that trend. So I'm just throwing that out for the talking point.
Well, one thing to keep in mind, the contract was supposed to go into effect July 1st, so we're now in August 15th.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe we prorate that 25,000 and get that cut that way, make it effective now, and that way it's fair to everybody else that did take the cut. That's just a personal recommendation.
Well, another factor that we discussed was in the contract, it calls for monthly reports
Yes.
to the council, and I think it's been a minute.
Well, and
So-
I get that. The reason for that, the previous administration, they weren't attending the Chamber of Commerce meetings. And so I thought with Jake attending, or Mayor Crafton, sorry. And I thought by him attending, that didn't need to go there, in my thinking. And so, yeah, that's part of my, new knowledge and stuff. So, because I took over in November, and so, but I didn't know, that I just thought by having the mayor there at the Chamber of Commerce meetings, that was, the written report wouldn't take, by him being there would be sufficient. So, that's, but I know now that I need to provide that, so.
I think it's just useful for everyone,
Yeah,
to
and I-
understanding, because you guys do a lot of great things, and there's so many opportunities coming up. I know
Yes.
we're interested in learning more about the plans for the eclipse, which is
Yes.
gonna be a great opportunity for Kennett,
Yeah.
and some of the other things coming up.
And our busy season for tourism is upon us, because school's starting back. We've got, as people come into town, visiting the restaurants and stuff like that. Then you've got Fall of the Arts that's coming up, the Kennett Cruisers, 3D Bash, the Delta Fair Parade. That brings in a whole lot of people. And then it carries over to the Delta Fair. And then on top of that, you have the Kennett Homecoming. So there's a lot of people that will be coming in for class reunions over this next month or so. So there's a lot out there. And as far as, taking the time, creating the ads, getting that placed with the state, a lot of that takes up a lot of time. One of the other things I'm starting to work on is looking at our visitor signs, trying to get some information on those, doing some research on it and stuff like that. And as far as trying to keep up with the downtown, so there's Chamber has lots of hats that we do throughout the community and stuff. So yeah. And the contract, that was one thing, the learning curve. So that's, learning about stuff. So,
Have we talked about anything about putting signs outside all the entries of Kennett that would be restaurant names on it and the gas stations we have to offer? Is that a big deal, or?
There is some rules that MoDOT has that you have to comply with, and it has to do with the landowners, and the state of Missouri has a right-of-way ordinance, and so you have to be real careful as to what you're putting up. It has to be approved through MoDOT, and then it has to be registered, just like our signs that say "Welcome to Kennett" if I'm not mistaken, Melissa, is it every other year that has? Yeah, every other year those have to be updated with the state to say, hey, you've got this out there. If not, they could kind of take those signs away.
I hadn't got there yet, but that sounds
Yeah,
right.
so it's yeah, but I am, that's one of the things I'm looking at with this other, so as far as like landscaping and stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds
Any more discussion on the contract that's been presented? We have one discussion of reduced, and we have a prorated amount that you discussed.
So I'm gonna make the motion on that.
That's what I was asked.
To provide, renew the contract as of August 15th, which would make the total contract amount.
21,875.
21,800. Rounded off 22,000.
22,000.
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
I'll second that.
22,000. This will be your sales tax allocation
For this year only.
for this year.
Yeah.
All right. So the motion, I don't know if has it been seconded?
Yes.
Second. There's a motion and a second to approve $22,000 to the Kennett Chamber of Commerce. Any
That's been
discussion?
budgeted, by the way.
Yes, it's been prior budget. Any discussions on that? Any discussions on your end of that amount?
It's just one of those, we'll make it work. So, one of the things, the contract, I'll need to.
I'll prepare.
Okay, yes, sir. Good.
Okay, motion and a second on the floor. Any other discussion? From council, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, I got two more other things. We received a application for the city tourism funds for, one for Kennett Alliance for Fall into Arts. The tourism committee has reviewed the application and recommend that we allocate up to $1,500 for this event. The Kennett Chamber of Commerce will review the paid expenses if it's allowed. And then I have another one here for the Kennett Cruisers for us to allocate $1,500 to the event and both events are over the September the 9th.
So that's something we've done in the past?
Yes, we've done that in the past. Last year, I think that as far as the Kennett Cruisers, I think they used only up to like $1,100 of what was allocated to them. Last year, the council allocated $1,500. So
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion to approve both of them. Is there, how about a second? And we have a second. Approve up to $1,500 for CAFTA and up to $1,500 for Kennett Cruisers. Any discussions?
I'm going to recuse myself. I'm on the CAFTA board. I don't think it's appropriate for me to vote.
Yeah, thank you.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
How about the Kennett Fly-In? Those guys bring in a lot of folks.
I haven't received any application from them. So, yeah, these were the only two that I had received anything from. Melissa, correct me, but I don't think they asked for any allocation last year or not.
No, before they got really big, we did a big push with them for advertising, and they did some really neat advertising methods that ended up filling them up.
Right.
And their guests have continued to come back, and they recognize that the way that they need dollars doesn't match the way the tourism fund is used. So they had not
Okay.
asked for any the past 2 years, I think, but they are aware of the fund.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
These are reimbursable, right? So they turn the expenses into you and you give them the things
Yes.
and that's when they get, then we reimburse the chamber,
Yes.
right?
And it's only for specified advertising expenses, so they can't use them for prize money, operating expenses, or payroll. It has to be advertising that will bring outside guests to Kennett.
Yes. And, yeah.
That's why we approved motion up to, not
Yes.
just cut that up $1,500. Any other discussion, questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And one.
And then I've got, is it okay if I give that to you now? So, but that's got my chamber report. Okay. So, that's all right.
Thank you, Mr. Ray.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, guys.
Well, let me swing back to the street committee real quick, please. Next meeting, would you all present to the council a list of streets that
Yes.
for our, so we'd have that for the council to
Yeah.
digest? Talk to
Certainly
us.
will.
Of the paved, a list for paved, gravel to pave, and then also in street.
I'll give you a list of everything that our planning has come up with.
And we'll get it printed out to every council, so everybody's got that for the board.
Are we gonna have every gravel road paved this year in the city limits? That was the plan originally.
That was the plan, but we have to do a test run out in Wright Acres because nobody really wants to go along with the idea of the engineers, which was to cut a ditch in each side of the road for drainage. And so what we're gonna do is we're going to raise the roads with gravel, chat, whatever, and after we get them elevated a bit, then we're gonna asphalt them.
Okay.
And we want to see how that does for things. We're going to try to do that with Pendleton and
McFarland.
McFarland, thank you.
Start at the northern end, work our way back toward town.
McFarland is probably the